Good morning, my good friend Gio. It's so good to be in conversation with you.
Saurel, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm really excited about being here and about having this conversation with you and with all of you. Thank you for being here. Saxy, so great to see you, Ken, Maria, Virtue, and everybody else, Molly. So great. And those of you who join us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like and join us every Monday. So today's conversation is one that I'm really passionate about, and I really want you to get close to this conversation. If you lead a team, or if you're planning to get a promotion, at some point you got to lead a team, or if you're planning to make more money, at some point you got to lead a team. Anything that has to do with professional growth, this conversation is with you. There's not much money unless you learn to lead others. And so this conversation is at the core of your pocket, okay, of your financial growth. But the topic is a little different though, because it's about what separates a strong team, what makes a strong team from a weak team. And I'm really excited about unfolding this conversation with Saurel today. So Saurel, let's get us going.
Yeah, let's dig into this. I grew up in Catholic schools, okay? And what that means is that to perform is to deliver, and to deliver has always been to deliver according to the expectation of another, the expectation of an authority figure, the expectation of, so it was all around me. If my handwriting wasn't perfect, I got spanked. If I didn't get good grades, I hid my report card from my parents and forged their signature to go back to school. And it was all inside of this world where performance is collapsed with something that I'm beginning to think, Gio, it really isn't that.
Mm.
So I think the same pain points that I endured as a teenager, as a toddler in preschool, elementary school, high school, are the same pain points, like everyday challenge that everyday leaders deal with when it comes to leading teams, running teams, and creating an environment where teams can really be unleashed to perform.
Yeah.
So,
So performance, what I'm hearing you're saying is that most of us inherit the opportunity of high performance as something to prove to others,
yeah,
something to look good for another. And it is very easy to get confused with, am I delivering results to make sure I look good? Or am I really creating results that are just over the expectations, that I'm over delivering, but not in the context of making sure I don't get punished, but in the context that I am growing, I'm getting results, you are getting the results that you want. And what I also get, Sorrel, for myself is that performance for me for a long time wasn't simple. Performance or high performance was something very difficult that had to deal with a lot of effort, right? And I think the world, society, it's constantly bombarding people, you and I, with you've got to hustle, you've got to work really hard, you've got to put more than anybody else. And although all of those things could be valid at some point, they are not the source of performance. And
no,
so we want to get here really, really clear for ourselves. And I want you to hear, all of you who are listening to this, I want you to get really clear about this, because we want to make high performance, get the results that you want, really simple for you. And I want you to know that we're not just speaking for ourselves. This is what we do for our clients, and they do achieve extraordinary results. We're going to talk about them a little bit later, but unimaginable results by shifting this whole idea that high performance is something that comes with really hard work, hustling like crazy, and screaming louder than anybody else, or guilting and shaming more than anybody else, right? Which has nothing to do with it. So
yeah,
so here's the last thing I'm going to say. It's critical to uncollapse confusing performance with effort. Performance has nothing to do with effort necessarily, like hard effort. Performance is a function of an action you take or an action you don't take. Like you look at anything you're doing right now, anything that you're up to, the result that you've gotten has been from an action you took or from an action you didn't take because you went in a different direction. The action itself, unless you're lifting 100-pound cement bag up up some stairs,
taking it up a hill,
taking it uphill there, unless you're doing that kind of performance, that kind of action, it is not effort necessarily. It's action itself. So it's really important to get clear where we confuse performance with hard work and a lot of effort. It's action or no action. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, Gio, you're pointing to, what the misconceptions are about performance that leaves me trapped in a certain way. And there are three ways that people like me, like you and others get trapped. We get trapped inside of confusing hard work and hard effort for performance. And what you're saying is absolutely on point, meaning that an action I take can be hard or easy. It depends. So we're not saying the actions you take don't involve sometimes real effort. But what's dangerous is that I confuse intense effort with performance. And sometimes intense effort is a function of actions that aren't connected to anything I want at all. So that's really that first misconception. And there's a second misconception, Gio. And for me, it showed up when I would study really hard, expecting a good grade. But I was really just studying really hard, confused and thinking that studying really hard was it. And then I didn't get a good grade. So then I really blamed myself, beat myself up. And it's inside of this second misconception where I am attached to a specific outcome that is wrapped up inside of not my expectations of myself, but the expected results that the world, the society around me, my parents, my schoolmates, everyone said I should achieve in order to be classified as smart, classified as good, classified as belonging. So I not only confuse hard work for performance, I double down on that by getting attached to the result, getting attached to the outcome, not because the outcome is what I want, but the outcome itself is that which defines me, for others, inside of this world that we talked about, that we inherited. So that's a vicious circle that weighs down teams and keep people from performing.
I really like what you're pointing to, and I love for everyone to get kind of closer to what Saurel is pointing to. It's critical to uncollapse the result with performance. When I uncollapse what I get, the result I get with the performance, with the actions I take or I don't take, then it's easy to stay inside of the intention. It's easy to reinvent myself. It's easy to continue to grow in the direction I'm committed to. But when I collapse all the actions I take with the results that I take, as if the results I get is a function of the performance I took or the performance I didn't take, if I don't get the results I got, then it's easy to judge myself, or it's easy to judge others with, well, you didn't do the performance you should have taken. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You didn't perform. And that's not necessarily true. And it's important to uncollapse it. Why is it important to uncollapse it? Because no one gets it right the first time. But most people quit after they don't do something right. Most people do. Most people reinvent their team constantly when they don't get things right. Most people judge the team constantly when they don't get the ball going the right way. And absent of celebrating the actions constantly, we celebrate the action. The result is the result. The result is what I got. The result reveals what my next action is, not my performance. My performance is the action I take and the action that I don't take. And in this context of getting more action done, well, you either get a machine to do it, or you get more people to do it, but not hammer yourself over I'm not working hard enough. That normally burns people down. This is when you start experiencing at the workplace or for yourself a burnout. It's like, oh my gosh, I keep working and working and working and working and working, and I don't get the results I'm looking for. I must not be performing. Not necessarily. You are performing. You may be attached to the results you're getting. And since you're attached to the results you're getting, your judgment doesn't reveal the next effective action. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, Gio.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you know, and the other thing that I'm discovering right now as you're speaking is that I get attached to the outcome, not even having a foggy idea that my outcome is connecting to something I have a clear intention about. Most times, teams that aren't performing aren't connected to a clear intention. And most times, individually speaking, you know, going back to the metaphor about my education as an adolescent and a teenager, I didn't have my intention on being well educated, well trained, developed to be functioning as the kind of person that functions well in the world. The intention I had was an intention given to me. It was the intention that I needed to fulfill to look good, look better for the people. So I lost. I didn't even have a thread of intention to hang on to. So imagine when teams get into this world, sort of a third pain point that engulfs teams is that teams sometimes they start with clarity and then they lose the alignment as pressure increases. You know, the boss says it's due tomorrow, give it to me yesterday. And they forget why. People forget why they ever started, and performance becomes just rote repetition of the actions we take that have worked in the past so that we can feel good about ourselves and look good for others. So this context, Gio, these three pain points really keep performance about that way. And what we want to reveal in this conversation is that there's a simple way to approach performance that not only will unleash you, but unleash your teams to perform in the way that our clients have been able to perform.
Yeah, so performance is not hard work or a lot of effort. High performance necessarily is not also attached to the outcome. Win, 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 win. I love a winning mentality, but attached to the outcome, winning, winning, winning leaves a lot of dead bodies in the process. And then losing the thread of the intention. Like, what am I really doing this for? Most of the time, teams are not connected with an intention that inspires them, so they get burned out really easy because there's a lot of things to do. So let's create simplicity around high performance. So we want you to consider this, and we have tested this over time, over and over and over. We constantly go back to simplicity when it comes to high performance. And you can do this in your work, and you can do this with your family. You can do this with your kids. Like this weekend, Saurel, I went to Maya's. Now I'm gonna share something I'm bragging about right now, so forgive me. But
brag on, brother.
yeah. Maya has played. Maya is my 8-year-old. I talk about her all the time. She had played already 2 tournaments, 2 tennis tournaments, and she has won both tournaments. She has won both tournaments. She has her trophies, and she's not necessarily playing She's not necessarily the oldest. She's not necessarily the strongest. She's not necessarily the best ones. However, she has won both tournaments. We have trophies for both of them. So what is the context in which I manage this conversation with Maya in training her for tennis? Or how is it that we get some of our clients to become international bestsellers? Or how is it that we get some of our clients to become 8-figure businesses? Or in the case of you, Saurel, if you want to share a little bit of what's the context that you manage for a nonprofit in Haiti, which is unbelievable conditions for work, and then yet they are doing high performance, right? And you can share a little bit about that. So how do we do that?
Yeah, you talk about it being simple, right? And it's really simple.
It's
The
really
way,
simple.
and it's only simple in retrospect, right? So there's Haiti Outreach, a nonprofit in Haiti. And if any of you, when any of you listen to the news, you get that Haiti is a very hard place to work, a very hard place to even exist. Yet this nonprofit organization has been working on a major project to install latrines in over 100 communes in Haiti under these conditions. And they've followed this simple thing that we want to share with you. And it's really this: high performance is equal to an intention plus integrity. So I was sharing with you last week, Gio. I said, you know what? A little integrity goes a long way. And all the team has been doing is really staying focused on the intention. And their intention for them wasn't that they had a project that they needed to deliver for a client. It was more that they made a commitment that Haiti's a developed nation. And under the worst of circumstances, they're staying focused on that intention. That whatever I do, whatever action I take, even if it's just sweeping the front of my yard, that action is an action that I say is contributing to the fulfillment of my bigger intention. So they're super connected, right?
And that Haiti has clean water, correct?
Yeah. And inside of their super connection to their intention, they wake up every day and they take the very next action consistent with the fulfillment of their intention. So, and we call that adding a little integrity every day. So here's what happened. The organization that hired Haiti Outreach to do this work also hired others. And 6 weeks running, they have a weekly touch base meeting. And every time our team showed up, our team said, yes, we promised X, X is delivered. And some of the other teams hadn't even started. It's not like we're better than they are or have more resources than they do. No, we were just practicing inside of the simple view of performance. High performance is nothing more, nothing less than me being connected to my intention and taking actions consistent with that. A little integrity goes a long way.
Yeah. So how is this powerful? So let's deconstruct that a little bit.
Yeah.
The moment you have a goal, any goal you have, right, in this really, really real difficult environment like Haiti is, and a beautiful mission to create Haiti a developed nation also, and this nonprofit provides clean water, right? This is a big project, right? And inside of this big intention, now think of your intention for the rest of the year or your intention for the next 3 years. You have a big intention. You have a big why around this. Okay, is it possible that along the way something is going to go wrong? Is it possible? Saurel, has something gone wrong in Haiti along the way?
It's more than possible. It's predictable
It
that
is
it is going to go wrong.
So high performance is a function of connecting with the intention, constantly taking actions connected with the intention or connected with the milestones or the project, constantly taking actions, and then something goes wrong. But however, something goes wrong, it's not performance. Something goes wrong reveals data. That's all it does. It reveals data rather than judgment. Most of the time, human beings, you and I, the moment something goes wrong, the data that we get, then we judge it. And then we judge something about the project, something about ourselves, something about the team, and the judgment gets in the way. What we're saying is no judgment. Data is data. You connect with the intention, you have your milestones, you take actions consistent with the intention, something gets revealed. Whatever gets revealed, here's what's critical. Every outcome that gets revealed is an opportunity to fulfill on the intention. No matter what happens, every outcome that gets revealed, no matter what it is an opportunity to fulfill on the intention, no matter what it is. No matter if somebody stole you money, no matter if somebody stole the tools,
all the equipment,
all the equipment to be able to fulfill on that project. That's an outcome. No matter what that data comes back, it's an opportunity to get connected with the intention again. It reveals something. If your team can see it that way, they reinvent themselves at the stroke of light. They get to see themselves creating opportunities for creativity that you couldn't imagine. They get to see what's next in the context of in going in the direction of the project with velocity, rather than looking for judgment, looking for somebody to punish. Yes, if somebody stole your equipment, well, they got to go. However, you could see that your structures were not strong enough to fulfill on the project, to fulfill on the intention. Awesome.
Gio, this is really powerful, and it's amazing to see it in action, right? You talk about things going wrong in Haiti. Gangs control Port-au-Prince, and a lot of the work that the team does in the field rely on the availability of gasoline or diesel. And so they create a choke point in Port-au-Prince. Diesel doesn't flow to the outskirts of the country, and the price of diesel doubles. Mm-hmm. So what do? You could anyone could sit on the laurels. We've done enough. We're performing great. Let's just wait until the price of diesel goes down, or let's sit down together and commiserate about the price of diesel. No. What you're saying, it's amazing to see it in action, and it creates so much simplicity around performance. The price of diesel double. The team get together and said, okay, so now, given our connection to the mission and the vision, how do we now move forward? What's the next action we can take right now in the face of any circumstance that actually advances us toward the fulfillment of what we're committed to? And in that space, what they're discovering, Giovanni, is that regardless of today's circumstances, your team, the people involved in creating and bringing to life a huge initiative always have everything they need right now in this moment to take the very next action consistent with fulfilling our intention. And that's magical to see. You talked about creativity, right? When my attention shifts to fixing something like finding the robbers or blaming somebody, I lose sight of the fact that the next action that I can take consistent with fulfilling my intention is right there in front of me. And the more I take these micro or macro steps, the faster I get to the end. So high performance, as we're seeing it in this context, is not a function of like a lightning stroke, like bam, this team performed overnight and it was like spectacular. No, it's a function of waking up daily and taking an action consistent with my intention, regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because I love that example, given the extraordinary and difficult circumstances that your team is over there, that the team is over there. And I'll share a little bit of an anecdote with Maya, something a little bit less difficult, yet applies the same context. So with Maya, right? She's an 8-year-old. We're going to tournaments, right? And this tournament, it was on Saturday. And when we're preparing every day, we're not every day, we practice tennis 3 times a week, right? So high performance does require consistency, right? And every day we prepare, every other day, 3 times a week, we play tennis, right? But what do we play tennis for? Not so that she wins a tournament. No, so that I become a better player every day. What did I do today to become a better player than yesterday? That's the context. No matter what happens, you became a better player. You showed up, right? So now the day of the tournament shows up. So me and Maya are talking, and it's like, okay, so what do you want to do, Maya, right? And because people support what they create, I can't tell her go win a tournament. And she says, well, I want to win. And I say, well, does winning get you to be a better player? She's like, yeah. Does losing get you to be a better player? She's like, yeah. All right, so let's go play. We play to win, but we're not attached to the result. You got that? She's like, I got it. I tell Maya, tennis is a mindset game, not just a stroke game. It's a mindset. It's about recentering yourself. She's like, okay, recenter, and we play around. Recenter. We play around with that. Now, this is useful. Now, when she goes first match, she's playing a 10-year-old. So, 10-year-old boys with 8-year-old girls, it's a massive body difference. These guys are huge. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose. So tennis has nothing to do with size. It has who's hitting the ball better, not size. She's like, oh, got it. Back to action, right? Back to action. The final was incredible. The final was two young girls, and they're fighting it, and they want to win. I mean, it was a real final, right? They get to a tie break on the third set. Maya says to me, I was like, Maya, how did you turn it around? Because she was losing. And she says, well, I really wanted to cry. I really wanted to cry because I couldn't do it anymore. But I remember I just need to hit the ball. I just need to hit the ball. So performance is a function of action. And allow yourself to stay in action, not be attached to the result, and connect with the intention. All right, awesome. I think it's
well,
good half an hour,
it's 31 after. We're getting to the end of the conversation. Do you want to hear from anyone, Gio? What do you think?
Would love to.
Yeah. So anything you want to create. Chase has his hand up. Go ahead, Chase. Chase, you're on mute.
You're on mute, Chase.
Oh, I tried to unmute. It wouldn't let me at first. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So this conversation affected me a little bit because when you started talking about effort, I don't want anyone to lose sight of what effort is and how important it is. It seemed to be a little bit to me, maybe I'm listening wrong, that effort was a little pushed to the side in the beginning when Gio started talking. It kind of affected me because when you talk about people making an effort, that's important. Making an effort is really important. And as me, as the person that I am, we talk about performance, and I think about people like Kobe, for example. I remember Kobe said once, these guys don't want to win. That's the problem. They don't want to win. I'm here to win. I'm here to be a champion. And I remember when he said that, I was like, wow. But what is he doing to be a champion? Well, when the bus gets to the new city, he puts his bags down and he goes to the gym for a few hours. And when the guys get up in the morning, he's already in the gym, coming out of the gym when they're entering the gym. And his specific style of effort was connected to his action, which did make him a better performer, right? These are all connected to each other in one way. If you don't make an effort, you don't get anything. It doesn't have to be a strenuous effort, just the effort. If you walk a mile a day, which turns into 2 because you go there and back, well, at the end of the month, you have 60 miles. Holy cow, that's pretty awesome. So I just slightly disagree to what you said when you said effort is not about, or you said it's action, not about effort. Well, we have to have a hybrid of those things to move ahead. With no effort, nothing happens. You just sit there and go, wow, I should have took that action today. In some ways, to me, those words can be synonymous based on who you are, but they also work with each other if done the right way, which then can create a better performance later on.
I totally get it, Chase. Thank you so much for creating that. And I'm neither agreeing or disagreeing with you. And Gio and I wanted to deliberately create this dichotomy between effort and action.
Mm-hmm.
Because to be in action consistently, you could say that when Kobe gets up in the morning and he goes to the gym first, he's actually just being in action.
Yes, he is.
And then others interpret that as extraordinary effort. And what we want to create in the minds of our clients, in your minds, is that there's a big difference between my mindset being I am simply in action to I'm going to work hard, and working hard will get me somewhere. That's the difference we're looking to create, right? So in a sense, when Kobe sits out there and Kobe takes what, 1,000 shots a day?
Yeah, close to that. Probably.
I mean, it is tiring to the body, right?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
Kobe's not there to effort. He's there simply being in action, connected to his intention to be the winner and to be the best. So that's the difference we're looking, and we're not knocking down effort. And I can see how the conditioning I have had and the conditioning that maybe many of us have, where I collapse hard work with what's required for performance, which is simply action, gets me a little bit twisted, you know? Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah, and I'm going to add this. I absolutely agree with Chase, and I love that you bring this opportunity to not uncollapse the kind of consistent action that someone needs to take in order to be a great player at anything, right? I love what Malcolm Gladwell says. That says that becoming an expert requires about 10,000 hours of doing something, and in the context that we are creating is that those 10,000 hours of doing something is action after action after action after action after action. And what we really want to say, Chase, that I really want to highlight here is that most people give up on creating the next action for themselves to get to 10,000 hours is because they're not connected to something that inspires them, something, an intention that is bigger than them. Most teams give up to create extraordinary efforts, right? To create an extraordinary business, to create an extraordinary result. Most teams give up because after they're taking action after action, they judge what they get. They judge their results. They're constantly judging what they did and didn't do rather than reinventing themselves on the data. And when human beings reinvent themselves on just data, not on judgment, and continue to connect to something bigger than themselves, the opportunity of the project, we see over and over and over extraordinary results, incredible results. And then, yeah, this is not for the person who says, well, I want to become a professional tennis player without being on the court. Well, that's never going to happen. So yeah, thank you, Chase. Awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
And Gio, something just came to mind. I'll say it quickly. I have been from the school of having a badge of honor for extraordinary effort over time. And the transformation that I'm experiencing in this conversation is that now I can be totally at home just getting a badge for taking the next action and continuing to do that over and over. Ken?
Oh, yes.
Good morning, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Good morning. Good morning. What I was struck by, and I'm really reframing for myself, is this idea of intention and a consistent truing up to whether or not the actions that I'm taking fulfill on what the intention is, right? And to your point, it's actually it's laughingly kind of simple to ask, hey, did what I just do forward what this intention is? Yes, no. Oh, well, it didn't. Okay, great. So then what's the next thing that would have the intention be fulfilled? And I guess the other thing that it also brings to mind is also discovering what would deepen the intention. Is I guess that's the other thing that could get in the way is that you begin to discover that the intention that you have maybe is not grounded in a way that pulls you or a way that continues to pull you. So continuing to discover, okay, what's missing there? Is that really what I want? What am I really after here? So I really appreciate the conversation.
Oh yeah,
Thank
I
you
love
for
that. I love that, Ken. Thank you
yeah,
for creating that context. I want to share something, Saurel and Ken,
yeah.
and everybody, that happened to us recently, and Liz is part of this conversation. We were creating the next conference for transformation for Latin America in Florida. And our client gave us a pretty nice budget for the marketing, for the ads. And we blew the marketing ad. This is funny now, but not at the moment, on the wrong country. We blew our money, I know, Liz, on the wrong country. So
Wow.
imagine your client gives you a significant amount of money to put on ads and you put it on the wrong country. I mean, it's kind of funny, but not, right? Because now we're not getting them any results they're looking for and they trust us. So inside of this context, right, of, well, did I take an action? Yes. Did I take an action to fulfill the intention? Yes. Was it the right action? No, it was not the right action. Okay, so what did it reveal? Oh, we learned so many things about Facebook and Instagram. It revealed so many things that we could stand on that and say, okay, well, so we did take an action in fulfillment of our intention. This action wasn't the one that was effective. Okay, which one is it? And then we we redirect. Now we had to use our money now to fulfill on our promise, and it cost us a lot of money. However, the relationship with client was remained strong. We are friends. They saw, we shared with them with the mistake we made or what happened, right? And they laughed at it. We took responsibility financially. Now we're doing another conference next year. A few great clients came out of it. So we moved the ball in the right direction, but just looking at, does this fulfill the intention? It does. What was the action? What was the results that they revealed? Oh, that's just data. Okay, let's keep reinventing ourselves and let's keep taking the next action.
Yeah, and Gio, to your point, one of the things that is counterintuitive is a collapsing of time and an extraordinary access to velocity that is available when the team, the whole team, and myself are looking at the data we get from the results that show up, whatever they are. The data we get from the results that show up, whatever they are, inform us, inform teams, informs me about the next action to take, guided by my connection and my commitment to stay connected to the fulfillment of the intention. And that takes far less time than sitting around, blaming myself, blaming others, trying to hide or run or play that game of fixing what's wrong. What you gain in time alone is worth it.
Yeah. So, Saurel,
all right, Gio.
everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for making this this community vibrant and alive, because you're here. We appreciate you profoundly. We'll see you next week on Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring anyone who's up to something so we can start the week together and strong with different ideas and with a little bit of love. So, Saurel, you want to close up or you want me to do it?
Yeah, well, we'll close up kind of together. I just want to say, go to YouTube, search for the Leadership Huddle, and when you find it, subscribe. Then take the link and share it with a family member, a colleague, a friend, because, as you know, even though you never know what's going to happen on the Leadership Huddle, what happens on the Leadership Huddle is always magical in terms of how it transforms you and the people around you. So stay connected, and we'd love to see you here next Monday. So, Gio, take it.
Okay, awesome. These are the 8 steps to have a renegade life and have an incredible week. The first one is love. Love, always love those you have an opinion about. Love those who think differently from you. Love those that you don't like. Just love. Love. Eat more plant-based. Get closer to the trees. Hug the trees. Eat the trees. Avoid at all cost processed food. I mean, all the Doritos, all the bread, all the stuff that's processed, avoid it all time, at all times, right? Sleep every day, a little bit more, 7 hours at least. Sleep. This helps you with your wrinkles. It helps you to stay sexy and vibrant. Sleeping is good. Move every day. Right after you wake up in the morning, put on your shoes and get out. And if you live in an apartment, go downstairs, go upstairs, just something for 10 minutes. Right after lunch, the same thing. Give your jealousy away, give your love away, give your resentment away. Just give. Continue to give. And always check yourself before you wreck yourself. Remember, I love you, and always Saurel loves you more. Bye.
Until then.